What is up? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. This is the All In Show. I got some new guests on this side of the couch. I brought my good friend Joel right here, joining me back again for the All In Show. My name's Zandicky. You already know who it is. I just told you. Go ahead and let him know who it is, Joel.
This is Joel. I am from the Super Reactions podcast, and I'm a Scorpio, and I like glizzys.
I also like glizzys. I like cheddar glizzys.
Glizzy
Let's just go around and see what's our favorite glizzy. So introduction, and then what your favorite glizzy is.
Actually, I'll say real quick, I do love glizzies. I usually get the bar-esque glizzies because they're the cheapest, but lately I have been indulging, and I've been getting these better brand. I forget the name of them. They're beef, but they're better than Ballpark. Ballpark sucks.
Bruh. You can get it in bulk at Sam's and then go sell them.
True.
Yep.
True.
And
Yeah.
for what it is, I mean, they're not bad once you throw them on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
True.
I think Hank's is probably lower grade glizzies.
Yeah.
Ballparks at least have they got some size and girth. I would say,
Some girth.
someone at the door? Okay. Yeah, like they got some more girth to them than like Hank's. They're like smaller.
So
Thin.
you prefer girth over length?
When it comes to a glizzy, yeah, that's why I like brats so much. Brats are it's just the right amount of Brooklyn. What's going on?
Short and thick.
Yeah, I get it because it's more bite into it,
Yeah.
you know. And I like brats especially because they're juicy,
Brooklyn.
and that's probably my two favorite reasons why I like brats more
I
than.
wonder if they sell Vienna brats. And like you open the can and it's just one fat little short glizzy in there.
Vienna sausages are good too. On occasion, they're
Yeah.
not too bad. Go ahead, tell them who you are, what your favorite glizzy is.
My name's Poor Bear Chalapa. I hail from Beulah, Colorado. I'm a full-time student at the moment. I didn't know what glizzies were before 5 minutes ago, so I would say my favorite glizzy is... I'd have to go with the brats. I've had
Brats.
some mean brats in my day.
That's what I'm saying, dude. My
Yeah.
grandpas know how to cook up a good brat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'm like, geez, man. If only I can hit that level of nostalgia with my grilling.
Yep. Hell yeah. Just get like 8 beers deep, and then you got it.
Hawaiian shirt,
Yeah.
cargo pants, and some New Balances.
Yep.
And I think I'll be set, to be honest with you.
Bang, bang.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got to do it.
Yeah.
And a twisted tea.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have to go with like a Coors Light.
There you go. Or Natty Ice.
Yeah, or like a Bush.
Yeah.
Good old Bush.
Yeah.
For me, it's that good old tomato beer. Give me a
Okay.
Enchilada and I'm straight.
But you come from a Hispanic family, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
So that plays into it. Their grilling is a little different than a typical Caucasian grilling. I feel like you guys throw on the steaks. And not like steaks, like
It's that carne asada.
God, that's not
the
like
carne asada. Throw on the peppers, the onions,
Flavor.
tomato, all that stuff. Maybe
We
throw
like
on
flavor.
some beer.
And spices.
Yeah. Tell them who you are, what your favorite glizzy is.
All right, I'm Diego, a.k.a. Twin Abyss. I'm a dark poet from Pueblo, Colorado. Like I said, I write dark poetry, gothic poetry, anything you could think of. And my favorite glizzy has to be brats, man. Some sauteed onion. Shit.
hell yeah.
We got 3 for brats. I like that. I like a good old chili dog, too.
Mmm.
Like a good,
Sucking on a chili dog.
like Sonic chili dogs are good, but I like I haven't been to New York, so I don't know what an actual good chili dog tastes like or looks like.
Yeah.
I would assume some like that sesame seed bun, like a nice girthy hot dog.
It's about the girth with this guy.
I love the girth of a hot dog. It's just like more for the bite,
Thicker the better.
and I feel like just a littler wiener.
Like those Chicago dogs.
Yeah. I feel like a littler wiener is just like 2 bites and
Nobody
you're
likes a
done.
little wiener.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's people.
It's got to
who
be
favor...
a good glizzy to bread ratio.
Yes.
But that's the thing with the Sonic chili dog is it's thin, but it's long.
Foot
know?
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Who's got the foot long?
They're like a foot long, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's wild.
That's a quick trip to the bathroom after one of those chili dogs.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, Wiener Schnitzel's
I
got
was just at Wiener Schnitzel, and I absolutely love it. Everything there is delicious.
I've never
Corn dogs,
had it.
chili
Good,
dogs,
yeah, it's
chili
really good.
cheese dog, chili cheese fries, chili cheese burger.
Where's it at?
Mini corn dogs. There's several of them in the Springs.
Yeah.
But they just opened one inside of Walmart right off Circle by our new dispensary.
Is it a hot dog place?
Yeah. It's been an American hot dog establishment for like 200 years, I think it is.
I think,
something
yeah,
like
it's been
that.
around for
No
a minute.
way.
About 200 years.
Back.
Yeah.
That's like when George Washington or Thomas
Right,
Jefferson was
yeah,
alive.
right.
You're talking
The
about
1700s.
American hot dog, American tradition.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're 2025. I mean, the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
200 years ago already.
Yeah.
Isn't that a German name though? Wiener Schnitzel.
yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel. It's der Wiener Schnitzel.
Der Wiener Schnitzel.
You got to say der Wiener Schnitzel.
Wow. So that's definitely Americans stealing a name from, a culture that is not ours.
Well, I'm sure it was a German family who came and started the business out here 200 whatever years ago. But
Maybe.
it's an iconic place. There was one where I grew up. You already know where I grew up, and
Where did you grow up again, please? Because I don't think you've said it on the All In show.
I may have multiple times in the Bay Area in San
Bay.
Jose.
Oh,
the Bay.
shit. A Cali boy.
Cali boy.
I grew up in Fresno.
Oh, I got a lot of family in Fresno, Stockton. You know what I mean?
Hell
All
yeah.
that
I got
Modesto.
which side is the
The
fucking
bulldog
tattoo?
or what?
No, hell no. See, the Fresno,
Oh, yeah.
California. When I got the tattoo, the dude was like, "You want me to put a paw print?" And I'm like, "Hell no, bro."
Fresno, they ain't got the best reputation, but they're they're proud people, and they will fight you.
Oh yeah,
Fresno
They will
people?
fight you.
Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
Fresno, California. Yeah, you ever seen that TV show? I'm blanking it out. It's they documented. I think it was on the Travel Channel. The name is escaping me. Gangs in different cities. Shit, of course I can't think of it at the moment. But Fresno was on there twice on that TV show for the Norteños and the Bulldogs.
Yep. Fresno
And,
State
yeah,
Bulldogs.
and all the just the different gangs there. But yeah, I mean, Fresno's a badass.
San
town,
Jose
yeah.
State and Fresno State were rivals, college rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And I have cousins, that grew up in Fresno. They're from Fresno, and it was always this rivalry we had because
Yeah.
I was from San Jose. But yeah, man, fucking East Side San Ho, Wiener Schnitzel. It was there forever. And you knew it was a Wiener Schnitzel because the building, it was like a high peak building. It looked like a doghouse.
Yeah,
Imagine like a doghouse, but with a real high peak roof. And it was red and like yellow. And you drive through, or you could eat outside.
giant W.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Fire spot.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go check it out.
Yeah.
Fire spot. Yeah, there's multiple in the Springs. There's like at least 3, 4, 5 of them.
Yeah, that sounds like. Do they have girthy hot dogs?
You know what? Not too girthy,
No.
but really flavorful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could eat one of those chili dogs in like 2, 3 bites. You know what I'm saying? Scarf it down.
Yeah.
They got the corn dogs. If you like girth, you know what I mean?
I'm
Yes.
not big on a corn dog though.
I just deep throat a corn dog.
I know they got girth, but something about like having a pancake wrapped around a hot dog.
Well, it's cornbread, so it's a little different than
yeah,
pancake
but
batter.
essentially, cornbread wrapped around a hot dog.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Maybe if they dipped it in their own like batter.
You gotta visit Cali and go to that. What's that?
Hot dog on a stick.
Hot dog on a stick.
I've heard of that.
That's fucking
Yeah.
fire. Yeah.
They dip them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's all they make there.
Deep fry them.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
see them making the lemonade. They're like pumping
Yeah,
the lemons,
fresh
with, like
lemonade.
fresh lemons. They're like
Yeah.
squishing the lemons,
Yeah.
and they wear these silly ass hats. But it's always some hot chick working
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and she's like squishing lemons, and she's just bouncing around. And you're just eating a corn dog. It's like
Yeah.
all.
Why aren't
yeah.
they dressed like Hooters girls?
right? They got those stupid stripes on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Man,
hilarious.
that would be great. That'd be a good
Yeah.
business idea. I think we need more of that.
I love corn dogs.
Yeah, and I love going to a restaurant where there's pretty women and they're dressed in a
Provocative
in a
type clothing.
provocative type of way.
I hear you.
And it just something about it. Something about it. It feels like I can meet my wife there, but I feel like that's just my emotions taking over, and it's not really.
It's the other brain thinking.
Yeah, it's not reality, but they're always so nice. Like I went to Twin Peaks for my 21st birthday.
Love Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I was there with my aunt and my mom and my aunt's husband.
huh?
Yeah, I
A
know.
bunch of women.
I've never been to Twin Peaks before.
Did you know what it was?
No, not at all.
Who picked
Yeah.
it?
It was my aunt.
Oh, so she wanted to kind of treat you.
That's
She
a baller
did.
aunt.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, she. Shout out to you. I love you. So we go
out.
there, and I don't know what to get. I'm like, just give me something flavorful. She's
Damn.
like, well, we got like this candy shot you can take, and then my mom, she's like, asked to take it on her. And I thought of it the way she like put it,
Like between the titties type shit?
or like a belly shot or something.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I asked her, and I was like, "Is this on you? Like, can I have it on you?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's on me." But how she meant is like the
She's paying
shot.
for it.
She paid for the shot. So
You're all sitting there for 30 minutes all, where the fuck is she?
yeah, I was a little sad, but my waitress was so nice.
Yeah.
Young, definitely my type. Yeah, great experience.
Yeah, Twin
Yeah.
Peaks is awesome. Also, Tilted Kilt.
Yeah, we
Tilted Kilt's another
we-
really cool spot.
we were traveling in Springs, and we were looking for a spot to eat, and it was my wife and my daughter, and I'm like, oh, let's go to this Tilted Kilt, and
Mm-hmm.
then so we look it up, and I'm like, oh wait, never mind. Let's not go there.
I mean,
Because my daughter
the
was
food is good.
Yeah, the food
Food is good.
Yeah, the food is good, but my daughter was like 12, 13 at the time. She wouldn't care now. She's 16, but yeah, that's another.
For my daughter's
good
first
spaghetti.
birthday, Allie, we were in Denver. We took her to the Hard Rock. That's where we had dinner for
Yeah.
her first birthday.
Do they dress
Yeah.
provocative?
At Hard Rock?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily, classy. They're rock stars.
Yeah.
The women there dress
okay.
pretty hot. They're rock star type waitresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
But still, I mean, I wanted to introduce, my kids to this lifestyle at a young age. You know what I mean? It's that rock star lifestyle.
Is a little bizarre, but I see where you're coming from. You wanted to introduce him to like the reality of it is living in a man's world, being a woman.
Not necessarily that. Just I thought it was a cool spot, and it's like, okay, you could take your kid somewhere to like Chuck E. Cheese, but when they're 1 year old, are they really gonna remember it, regardless of where you take them to? It isn't until they get older to where you could brag about it and be like, hey, on your first birthday, your dad took you to the Hard Rock.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
true.
She'd be like, what?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way. Like,
No
here's
way.
the pictures.
Yeah, here's the pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Have you-
see.
Have you ever been to the Twin Peaks?
I
Or
haven't,
any of
no.
that?
No,
Yeah,
what
you
about
gotta.
Hooters?
Nah,
Don't
What?
lie.
no,
Yeah.
Don't
I
lie.
haven't.
Don't worry, they're not watching. They're not. It's not live. We'll edit it.
Maybe if I was single. Nah,
But you haven't been to Twin Peaks or Hooters.
I haven't. No.
Brother, you're telling me that I don't know if you grew up with a dad. Did you grow up with a dad?
Not really. No.
Uncles?
Yeah.
Your uncles did not just one day were like, hey, we're going to Hooters. I remember going to Hooters at like 6 years old.
That explains so much.
if I could go back, you know.
Zandy, he got fucking traumatized at Hooters.
I got
6
blessed
years
at a
old.
young age. They wanted
He
to
was like,
baptize me
"Holy
at a young
shit."
age. Yeah, I went there with my dad, my brother. I can't remember if my mom. I know my dad was there. I know he took us. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask him. Like what was your thought process taking your boy to a Hooters at 6 years old?
I was 22 when I first went to Hooters.
Oh, dude, you were not. You should have went when you were younger. Is what I'm gonna say.
I mean, honestly, I wasn't even really aware of Hooters until I got a little older, like in my teens, and I heard about Hooters, and I was like, well, where the fuck is it? Let's go. But it was in San Francisco. They didn't have one where I was at, so I wasn't. Honestly, the first one I went to was actually in L.A. I went out there with some friends, and there was a Hooters on the street. We were at the hotel we were staying at, so we all were like, fuck it, let's go to Hooters. And the wings were really fire.
Yeah.
The wings
Their
were fire.
food is good. I'm not gonna lie.
I had the lemon pepper steppers. They were fucking dank.
Like I went in there and I was unaware of what it really was. I just saw, these women dressed, and this was back when Hooters was, I guess, original. They didn't wear like super high up skirts or shorts.
Orange shorts.
It was like typical like early 2000s Hooters. So I was there and I was unaware of like what it really was. I was just like, oh, like this is a cool vibe. Like the vibe was cool. It gave me like Big Daddy kind of vibe.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Hooters,
Yeah.
right?
You know?
Or
Yeah.
wait, which one is that? Where he goes to Hooters?
Big Daddy.
Is it Big Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's multiple movies where he actually goes to Hooters.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm only going for the wings.
Yeah,
wings
the
are
burgers
good.
are good too.
Wings are
Burgers
good.
are good too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go for just the wings.
It was hella funny. I went with my homie one time, and we were tearing up the wings. And it was the one in Springs at the Citadel.
Yeah.
And they had cheesecake like for the desserts, and I was like, hell yeah, like let me get one of those cheesecakes. So she brought it over, and I was like, yo, ask her if they made this with breast milk.
Oh my god, bro.
And he was like, hell no, you better not do it.
You're a
You better
menace.
not fucking do it. And I was like, hey, my friend had a question. I was like, you want to know if the cheesecake was actually made with breast milk? She was like, I don't know. I was like, what the fuck? That's a joke. Like, she thought we were being dead ass. It was pretty
You're a
hilarious.
menace for doing that.
I
dude.
know.
Oh my god.
I'm going to hell. I know I am.
You should have been like, well, can you find out?
Can you-
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I thought she would have just like laughed, but she thought I was being serious because the way I said it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's hilarious.
it was awesome. I'll never
Sometimes
forget
you make
it.
a joke and it does not go the way you intended it to.
Yeah.
Well, she got it afterwards, like after I kind of laughed and like, titties. You know what I mean? Cheesecake.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's even milk in cheesecake. I just
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
No, I think it's just cream cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's cream cheese
vanilla, some
Vanilla.
egg,
and,
and
some egg.
sour cream.
Coming from the culinary expert, you
Yeah.
should know.
I was like, I don't even think there's cheese milk. I don't even know why I would even say that. I know there's not milk.
It's so good though. Probably
Yeah.
my favorite cake out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Second. I
I'm
second
like-
that. Yeah.
Dude, cheesecake is so
I will
good.
third that because every year for my birthday, I get cheesecake.
Hell yeah.
And last year I actually got I got a cheesecake, but also Millie, shout out Millie, she made me these lemon. You were here. Remember those cupcakes she made? They're like lemon cheesecake or something like that.
Yeah, there's
lemon
something
cheesecake
Oh,
cupcakes.
dude, those were so
or it's lemon
good.
cream cheese cupcakes, bro. They are some of the best cupcakes.
Something
I've
with
ever
cream
had.
cheese and cheesecake in it. It was delicious. Shout out to Millie.
I know, Millie. I know you're watching.
She might be watching. I don't know.
Not
what's
live,
going
but
on,
I know she's a viewer.
but yeah,
She's
she
subscribed.
can bake.
She could. The mac and cheese for Thanksgiving.
That
Remember
was
that?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think she did that barbecue. No, not barbecue. That
The pulled or the shredded chicken, the buffalo chicken
the buffalo
sliders.
chicken sliders. Oh my
Mhm.
god, making me hungry now.
She was a great cook, for real.
She
She even
just-
helped me make the cake for Street Champs for the 60K.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was
Space
good.
cake. We used all kinds of distillate powder. Made a cake. It was
Hell
about
yeah.
500 milligrams.
That was real good. That was real good.
Have you guys been to Bucky's?
I haven't.
No.
Bucky's.
It's in
Yeah.
Fort Collins.
Talking about
is it Fort
Boosie's?
Collins or
Pussies.
Fort Collins, huh?
They're supposed to make one here. I don't know if they're going to.
in Puebla.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I heard it was going to be
Yeah.
more towards Trinidad, like Walsenburg
Is
or
it?
something like that. I don't know. I could be
It's
wrong.
like a convenience store, but way more
gas
aggressive.
station.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Western vibe.
It's huge.
Big in the
Expansive.
south. Big in
Yeah,
the south.
Yeah, I stopped at my first one at the Texas Panhandle in Amarillo, and yeah, they have a gift shop. They have all kinds of food. They have ton of barbecue, ton of beef
Yeah,
jerky.
you name it, they got it.
Fucking kayaks if you want to buy
Guns?
them. Guns probably. It
Yo.
depends on the store. Yeah, I mean they got all kinds of fucking stuff there, man. It's awesome. Like, yeah, you just have to go and experience it. You know.
You're walking
Yeah.
out with
Yeah.
at least something,
Look
Yeah.
up,
even
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's just
look
food.
up Bucky's.
Yeah.
Do they sell guns?
It's Buccees.
I always call it Boosie's.
Boochies.
I don't think they do sell guns.
Boochies.
Probably in more of the red star states, like Texas, maybe Montana.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Kentucky.
don't know.
Does Bucky sell?
Because Montana, you go into no, they don't. Montana, you
Or
go into
ammunition.
a convenience store, like a gas station / convenience store, you'll find guns in the convenience. I was so flabbergasted. I was like, this is the most American shit I have ever seen. You're telling
Yeah.
me I can go grab gas, and if I'm feeling it, I can buy a gun if I really wanted
Yeah.
to, walk out with some gas and a gun?
Yeah.
That's
You get your
American?
Funyuns, and the guy's like, "You want a gun with your Funyuns?"
Yeah, but like,
You're like,
yeah.
"Yeah, sure."
The fuck?
Yeah.
Is that
Doing a BOGO right now.
yeah.
Buy one, get one.
Buy some Funyuns, get a
Yeah. Like, does a dolphin swim?
get a Desert Eagle.
Yeah, exactly. Does a bird fly? The fuck?
Yeah.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Are you a gun owner?
Yeah, I got a gun.
Multiple?
Just one. Just a rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
30-aught? 22?
No. 227.
Oh, 227. Okay.
Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Everything's so expensive for ammo and guns, though. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I want to get something for self-defense and like home protection, but it's so expensive.
When I had Allie, a lot of people in my family were like, if you have a daughter, make sure you buy a shotgun. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought me a Mossberg, little 88 series, little Maverick.
There you go.
Nice.
And I got it because it's one of those shotguns where you can modify and put hell of attachments, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some Call of Duty type shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I've never used it. It's in the gun case.
Are you guys pro gun?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm pro gun. You know, that's always
Our amendment.
yeah. You know, it's always a difficult topic because, you know, and it's like we were talking about the other day. You know, it's more of a gray area or a lot of gray area. So it's not just simple as, you know, racking down gun control, swift this and swift that, you know, because there's so much that goes into it. You know, but yeah, I'm all for, you know, the Second Amendment and having safety behind it too. You know what I mean? Because so many school shootings happen, and you know, it's just something that needs to be seriously discussed on both sides. You know what I mean? And it's difficult because neither side talks. Neither side has a discussion. It always turns out into an argument. You
What
know
it
I
comes
mean?
down
So-
to is just people being irresponsible.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I got
Yeah,
a
that too.
story. I got a story for that too. But are you pro gun?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I want to get one eventually.
yeah.
Big R, you go to Big R right now, they got a lot of deals. I was looking at some of the handguns. I was like, shit, I need to get me a little handgun.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Good for home defense. Good for self-defense. You just got to know how to use it. And I think that comes into talking about that gray areas. when
Even
you
the
have a
sporting
gun.
aspect of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
I mean, you
but
got a rifle, you know what I'm
I
saying?
think if you know how to use it properly, because I think of it in the terms of, yes, all these people can have a gun and open carry or conceal carry, but when it comes down to it, can you draw this weapon out in a matter of seconds before this aggressor pulls it out before you do. So I'm a big fan of like tactical training, and you know how the military, specifically like the special operators, train with their guns. It's like you got to be able to pull it out quickly and accurately fire the weapon within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
But then there's a story, not necessarily a story, a recent conflict that happened in Pueblo, right down the street where I lived, and these two kids, I'm gonna say kids because they're kids, got into some type of conflict, and someone pulled out a gun. I don't know if he was purposely trying to like actually kill him or just shoot at him and warn him, but he shot the gun at the car while the person was in the car. Bullet went through the car, went through their arm, and right into their like side sternum. So he ended up losing his life because of that. And it started at East High School, and then it traveled down there. But it makes me think, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, I hear stories from when my dad was growing up to coworkers growing up living in that time. You can carry a gun or a rifle right in the back of your truck and just have it right there, you know, publicly displayed. Nobody would touch it. Nobody would, you know, even bat an eye to try to use it against you. It was just more so for like sporting purposes or just having fun. I think they were more responsible, and now we're living in a day and age where, you know, people are irresponsible with it, and they think if they have a gun, they feel some type of authority or power over someone, so they end up using it in that manner. So, I mean, my theory is, I think it's the last week to second to last week of school. My theory is they're high school students. Some type of conflict happened at school. One of the kids had a gun, threatened it. Somehow it escalated outside. And then, you know, it again escalated even more to that loaf and jug. But it just goes to show, like, even now, these kids are probably carrying guns in their cars still, but I think they're more irresponsible with it, and they're just gonna flash it around, and there's so much to it. It's such a gray area, but yeah, I think you should use them. Long story short, I'm pro Second Amendment, but use it responsibly. Don't use it irresponsibly.
Yeah, and I mean, we live in this era where, you know, weapons and guns are now glorified, not just through movies like when we grew up, but now through music, through video games. You know what I mean? Kids see these weapons, are like, I want to use that, or my dad has that, you know, I want to get access to that. Too much access, not being taught right. You know, parents need to show their kids, if they're going to have weapons, you know, how to be responsible. And, you know what I mean, the consequences, what could happen, how it affects people, not just the victims, but the families of the victims. So it's definitely a lot that goes into it. And I'm all about having guns. You just got to, you know how to
be responsible.
Be a responsible adult about it.
Before we get into some deep discussion, Diego, what's your take on that?
You know, growing up, I never really was raised into being around a lot of guns and how to use it, just the responsibility behind it. But growing up, I did have a lot of friends, you know, growing up in the east side, single parent, you know, seen a lot, grew up fast, and it was normal. And the friends I had back then, it was their normal. It was normal to them. And, you know, if in this town, that's how you really are glorified, you know, it's your family, it's all, you know, it's all family oriented, and it gets really deep, you know, when you're from that. But you know, I was always raised not to think that way and have a different mentality about life, but I was around it. And when you're young in middle school, high school, you want to fit in, you want to adapt, and you want to show off, but it's not really worth it. And when, you know, it just trips me out when you're growing up around a lot of young kids at the time that you're friends with, but they're way different than you, you know. And kids that already had guns already were doing all kinds of stuff, but I am pro gun. I feel like you need to treat every gun like it's loaded. You need to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna pull it out, you're gonna have to intend to use it. If that makes sense. If you're gonna pull it out, then you better use it. If not, don't pull it out at all.
You ever go shoot some shit up?
I haven't.
No.
Well, with the lady's dad, I did.
Gun
a few
range or
times.
something like that?
Out in Avondale.
Okay.
He has a property out there. Yeah, it's 357.
That's what I like about Colorado. It's just like a lot of empty space where you could just go out and shoot some shit up. My buddies, they have a whole arsenal. So when we go shooting, we'll go bring milk jugs that we fill with water and we just freeze them.
Yeah.
Like to blocks of ice. We shoot the blocks of ice. And one time he brought some propane tanks. We were shooting propane tanks. Being irresponsible is what we were being. But he had just got this new shotgun. It was a Sega's automatic shotgun. And he had these Dupo C4 shells. So we were just like blowing shit up. It was wild.
American.
It's on my IG. Check it out.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check it out.
Nice.
On the
Nice.
Two Fly?
The Two Fly High Side IG, not the Joel Show High Side or the
Okay.
Joel Show. I have like 5 different accounts.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I want to get into some deep discussion because we have some minds in here that I feel reflect on these types of discussions. Throughout the week, the past 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of uncomfortable thoughts that come to my head that I just gotta take with a grain of salt. And
Sometimes they're necessary.
sometimes they're necessary. I've been told everything's good in moderation. I don't know how much I believe that because how much I experience these uncomfortable thoughts is well above the moderation limit for me. But it just gets me thinking on a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, the evils. I mean, that's what the evils are intended to do. They attack your brain first. That's what they go for. They try to interfere with your thoughts. It's a distraction. So as soon as you understand that's what it is, it's like in cartoons. You see the little angel on your shoulder. You see the little devil on your shoulder. Whether you believe in having a conscience or not, conscious or not, it's just one of those things. You have to understand that. I believe that inside of all of us there is a good and evil, and it's just us to decide with our own free will, which we choose to be. And you're going to be a good guy, you're going to choose the dark side. And, I grew up always liking the bad guys, I always liked the villains.
I can tell.
So sometimes I try to play that part, but also deep inside of myself, there is so much good.
You're a lover deep down.
So very much so, very passionate. But then I also have 2 daughters who completely changed my perspective on a lot of things and made me realize that I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy.
Kids will do that shit
I'm a
to
good
you.
guy.
Yeah. Kids will change you.
But I still root for the bad guys, though.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Yeah, and that's how I see it is. From my understanding of my growing up is there is no good and evil, and it's just choice, and you can use your energy for whatever you want it to be. So it's like the Force, and it's either you're on the dark side or you're on, the light side. So, but
Free will.
yeah, absolutely, and that's where too many thoughts can be overwhelming. When it brings up anxiety and
Negativity.
negativity or self-harm, but like I said before, it was knowing it and seeing it is half the battle, because and you recognize that it's there, and then if it gets too much, I'm always an advocate of mental health, and seeking therapy and getting a professional's perspective, no matter who you are. I'm going to get my PhD here in about a month or so in industrial organizational psychology, and I still see a therapist because I'm just human, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my mind?
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Just get somebody else.
Sometimes our minds are clouded.
Yeah,
we don't see things a certain way.
Yeah, and then it's just that hamster wheel, and somebody needs to stop the wheel and be like, wait a minute, you're doing something here that needs reflecting, or all kinds of different things, because humans are complex, and it's that community that can help you, and mental health is part of that community, so Men's Mental Health Month, No Shave November, all that kind of stuff, is important. So it's okay to also look into the dark, because if you don't look into the dark, you won't know the light, and that isn't any kind of religious connotation. That isn't any kind of philosophical. I guess it is kind of philosophical, but you just got to find your own and pay attention to those thoughts, if they consume you, especially with what you do in your daily life, what you see, what you experience in your daily life, a job, a relationship. I mean, so many different things, can cause, mental anguish, basically.
It is good to know what it is, like you said, to be in that darkness, to know what it's like. Because you may have lived a very good life, fortunate life, a loving family, but then you become an adult, you start to lose family, you start to lose touch of who you are, you fall into this dark path, but you don't know what to do, what to expect from it. You have no perspective because you haven't been introduced to that yet. Yeah. So when you finally do, and even if it's at a later age, you're like, damn, how do I go about this? Yeah. So experiencing it when you're young kind of molds you to the person you become. But then when you experience at an older age, it's almost like insanity. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not used to this. Like, how do I deal with this? Yeah. So it is good to talk to people. And sometimes men, we're so prideful, we don't want to tell people our feelings. We don't want to show our emotion. You know what I mean? We want to be proud. We want to be strong, but we're only lying to ourselves. You know what I mean? Because we're all vulnerable. Yeah. We're all fragile beings. Yeah. So it's necessary to express these things, not just to your friends, but even if you're seeing a counselor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, whoever it may be, just to hear things out loud, to get perspective, even by listening to a podcast. I mean, there might be somebody watching right now who's experiencing something crazy in their life, to where it's like, wow, to hear these things out loud gives me that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me embrace that.
Yeah, not have shame in it, because
no shame.
Yeah, I was telling Xander the other day, Navy SEALs, they have to be vulnerable with each other because they trust each other so much with their life and death and what they experience, that they have to be 100% vulnerable with each other. And don't quote me on that. I'm sorry if I'm misusing what they do, but they have to be.
That makes sense.
Because if they can't fully understand who their brother or sister is, they can't go into a situation where they may not walk out together, so and then it's also that double-edged sword too, like with macho men like firefighters or things like that, or The Rock or something. They can be feminine because they're masculine, and then they can show that because we can clearly see they're a man, but it's like not everybody's built like that, and it took him years to build that kind of physique and that aura of himself. But every other man that doesn't look like that, we're expected, to man up.
That's when you feel comfortable. You know what I mean? You start to feel comfortable with, your sexuality, your well-being, and, your surroundings, to where, you could do these things and not feel shame. Not feel like, you're making a fool of yourself, humiliating yourself or whatever. But sometimes you need that humility. You know what I mean? You need to feel that emotion, you know what I mean? And know how to embrace it.
Yeah, and you said a key word, shame. So much shame. We grow up with it in any kind of culture, ethnicity, everybody has shame around something, and it's breaking through that, being vulnerable and breaking through it.
And admitting your flaws.
My goal that I set recently is to be the first one to be vulnerable with others, to encourage others to also be vulnerable and open up about how they actually feel deep inside, instead of putting up your walls in this facade that people see you for. Because
we have this reputation, to uphold.
Everybody on planet Earth, and I'm sure throughout the whole universe, everybody can relate in some type of way. Whether it's, work, physical, mental. We all can relate in some type of way. Basically, what I'm saying is if I feel this way, there has to be someone else who also feels this way.
Absolutely.
And can relate.
Yeah,
For sure.
8 billion people.
Multiple times over and over.
And if you're the first person to open up and set that example, I feel that will encourage other people to also do the same and open up about how they feel too. So that's been a goal of mine.
Yeah.
And I want to, I've been told you should have selective vulnerability. I'm young. I wouldn't call it being naive, but I would call it being a young man, because I'm a young man, but a young human being going through life and experiencing all the trials and tribulations and just being overwhelmed with everything going on in life. And if you're a regular human being, you probably have a 9 to 5. You got bills you got to pay. You got kids, all this responsibility. You probably also feel like you have a heavy burden on your shoulders as well. So we can relate to each other. Maybe not in the same way, but we can relate in the same perspective. So that's been a goal.
Yeah, and that's where empathy comes in. Because everybody has felt sadness, everybody's felt happiness, everybody's felt despair, everybody's felt joy, and some on the fringes of like mental health issues, some people experience it less or unfortunately not at all, so that's where being vulnerable is courageous, to be able to, say what you're feeling in any moment. And I think that would make it more of a connecting space to do that, where you discuss about being vulnerable in different situations. You need to be careful where you're vulnerable, because if you know anything about the streets, like, it'll be used against you.
For sure.
You got to be careful in those situations of.
And we all know Xander's a gangster. He's from the hood.
I wasn't going to say anything about his tattoo, but
I go to a Venezuelan bar.
It's actually cool that it's all just us dudes hanging out right now, because let's just say we had a guest with us who was a woman, and we might change the way we talk to each other in this setting right now.
Yeah, but I would also want a female perspective
for sure
on it, as far as like mental health and being vulnerable.
But sometimes because of a woman's presence, you might be ashamed or embarrassed to admit certain things. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to present yourself to be a certain way. But I think in a lot of cases, women not only respect the honesty, but they will give you that perspective, because they might have had an experience with a man in their life to where they know what you're going through from their perspective, from their view, from a woman's view. And sometimes that's important. So, you might have a friend watch this episode and be like, hey, I get what you were saying. Here's, what I got to say about that, or in the comments or whatever while they're watching the show.
Yeah.
And so, it's definitely important to just let that out, express that, let them know how you truly feel. Because, I was going through a hard time last year, and now I'm over here. I feel like, things are getting better. And one of the hashtags I use is do better. I'm trying to do better in every aspect of my life. Be a better father, be a better friend, be a better worker. Anything I can do to, grow as an individual. So,
and that's my hope for males and females. If I can be vulnerable as a man, I want men and women to also feel comfortable to do the same. So I would love to hear that female perspective. Because it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. I've been vulnerable with both lately, just opening up about how I really feel, on the inside,
Yep.
on what's going on in my life, because I can't keep hiding it or bearing it or whatever you want to call it. I can't keep
Can't
Bottling it
contain
up.
it. You cannot
can't
contain
keep
that.
containing it,
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a male. Like
yeah.
lately I've been like, hey, this is how I've been feeling.
It'll weigh heavy on you. You know what I mean? I seen you out there. You're out there doing your hike. Got lost for a
I
little
did.
bit. You found your way. Sometimes we get lost, but through the thick and thin, we always find our way through these obstacles that we face. And then afterwards, you did a little dance. You celebrated.
That was actually before, and before.
So the dance was before you got lost.
Yeah,
The dance though, I was laughing, and you seen the comment Mila had
I
left.
know
my
she's
daughter,
always so mean to me,
she
bro.
picks on this guy, but we all laughed about it. And in my mind, I'm looking at you. I'm like, man, this guy's just enjoying life right now.
Yeah,
And even though you're going through some hardship, like most of us are right now, and these times we're living in, it's hard to maintain, and keep a smile on your face, because there's so much shit going on in this world that's just we're blind to sometimes, or we ignore it. We feel like, oh, what can I do about it, But here we are. We have this platform. We're speaking on it. You never know who's watching and who this might, change their perspective. Somebody might be watching right now that's young. They might grow up to, want to make a difference and do better in life. So
that's my goal,
Yeah.
and that's something I'm thinking about and brainstorming all the time. I'm glad you brought that up. Side story quest. I went for a hike
Yeah, I want to hear this.
yesterday.
side
And
quest.
I underestimated this hike.
Was this in
thought-
Springs?
Yeah, I thought it was in the Cheyenne mountain area,
Oh, okay.
like right behind the Broadmoor.
Did you
I
have
thought
your
it-
rifle with you? Or?
No, I raw dogged this whole hike.
No knife? No-
no
Did
knife.
Did you have some beef jerky?
No
No
food,
stick?
just 2 bottles of water, my camera, and optimism.
Damn.
Is all I
At
brought.
least we'd see pictures of his body.
Yeah, so I went on this hike. I thought it was going to be, 2 miles. I was like, all right, cool. So there's like this turning point where it leads to one summit of one mountain that's a shorter trail, and then the other one that goes to the other summit. And I did this smaller summit last year, and I wanted to do this one again because I've done it with some of my boys a few years back, and I was like, I really love the summit. So I went and took that way.
Was it all overgrown or what?
No, it started off as a normal trail. You can see the trail, you can follow the trail. Closer to the summit, it started getting rocky, and you started kind of have to do some like mountaineering type of maneuvers. A lot of incline, but there's signs that show you with an arrow where this trail is going. So, but that's like every now and then, and if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it, especially on the hike back down. So I was able to navigate it all the way up successfully, and I was like, you know what? I was listening to Michael Jackson.
Been going hard on the mic, huh?
Yeah, I've been going hard on MJ, and I was like, this would be a good like video. So my plan was just to take some clips throughout the whole hike, make a video. I did that. It was awesome. But on the way back down, I was like, granted, this was probably a 3-mile hike out and back. It felt like it was like 5-7 miles, and it felt like it took
So about an
6
hour or
hours.
what?
Yeah, it was
Jeez.
about an hour down. But I'm walking down, and I'm on the trail. I'm like, cool, everything's going good. I saw some people go up to the summit. When I was going back down, nobody was in distance. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to find my way back down. So I'm walking down this trail, and it's rocky, and I'm following what I think is the trail. And I get to a point where I'm like, is this the trail? I don't remember this. What is going on? So there's another trail on that same hike that goes off, and it's a whole other hike. So I'm following that trail for about 5 minutes, and I'm like, I don't remember this. So I walk back to the point where I found that trail. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the trail. So I walk this trail. Turns out it's not the trail. And I'm like, all right, this can get south real quick if I don't find my way back to the trail. Because I was kind of lost. I was like, I spent like 15, 20 minutes just looking for this trail. And I'm like, oh my God, man.
I just picture him walking down the trail. He's like, Billie Jean.
I was
He's all moonwalking down,
yeah.
Crying like.
popping and locking.
I was listening to music, and then I fucking plugged my headphones back into my case, and I was like, you know what, if I get lost, I gotta go into survival mode right now.
Yeah.
So I was trying to conserve my battery. I was so depleted of water. I was dripping sweat, and I was like, well, worst case scenario, if I do get lost, fortunately I had cell service, so I would just call 911, let them know which trail I'm on, let them know, hey, there was somewhat of a landing zone over here. I don't know how far down. I don't know if you guys can, I don't know what your situation would look like.
Yeah, search
but I
and
was
rescue.
just, thinking like worst case scenarios for the past like 20 minutes. It's 3:00 and I'm going down this trail.
Was it pretty hot?
Oh yeah, dude, I got a mean sunburn. Going down this trail I thought was the trail. Turns out it's just a decline, which all the way at the bottom of that decline is where the parking spot was. So I'm like, all right, if I go all the way down, theoretically, I would be at my car. But I'm like looking at the drop, and I'm like, dude, I'm not no goddamn mountain lion right now. There's no way. I gotta find the trail real quickly.
That's me in Red Dead.
Yeah, so I pull up my phone, I look on all trails, and I'm like, where is this trail? So I hike back up this little incline, dripping sweat, hot as a fucking gazoon. And
What is that?
I don't know. So I fortunately found the trail, but for a period of 20 minutes, my heart sank to my stomach, and I was like, man, I really might be lost right now. I really might be lost right now.
I'm going to miss the fucking podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck,
shit.
I'm going to have to call them to work, like, guys, I can't come in tomorrow. I have to have search and rescue come and get me. I was thinking of worst case scenarios, like, all right, who am I calling first? I'm calling 911 first, then my dad, then work. And I was like, all right, well, what do I tell 911? And I was like, all right, well, I know the name of the trail. Mm-hmm. That's about all I know. I know where I'm at as far as the summit. I know it's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour and a half before they actually... Probably even 2 hours if they don't have any type of landing zone or any flight or anything.
Pretty thick woods.
Once you reach higher, yeah, I got thick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was a period of 20 minutes where I was just like thinking worst case scenarios. I was a little scared, but then eventually I ended up finding my way back and
Finding your way.
Yeah. I just picture you finding the trail and other people finding you, and he already has his t-shirt torn off. It's around his head, and he's like in survival mode, all sweating already. And they're like, "Are you all right?"
I mean, it's a metaphor to life. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the first pieces of music I ever wrote was called Distances. After that, it was called Finding a Way. At that phase in my life, I was young. I was in my 20s. I didn't know which direction I wanted to go towards. Like, where is this life going to take me? So, being lost in the woods is just a perfect metaphor to life.
It's a good metaphor.
You know what I mean?
It's also good to experience.
It is.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I was telling you the other day, go
that
skydiving.
fear, too.
Go skydiving, because,
overcoming that fear.
makes you pucker a little bit, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
wait, I'm mortal. There's an end to this fucking meat wagon.
I'm not going to lie. I was yelling. I was like, hey, is anyone out there? Seeing if anybody was nearby.
Somebody's all, shut the fuck up!
Nobody was close. And I was like, all right, I'm on my own.
Hey.
He was thinking of filming the remake of Castaway.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
No,
What?
No.
Oh, Yanks.
Is that like a scene in Castaway?
Well, I mean, he's on an island,
It's
but
the whole
Oh,
damn
with
movie.
Tom
Hanks?
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I pictured him after 20 minutes, and they're like, "You've only been lost 20 minutes. Why the fuck you look like you've been in Castaway?"
I had mentioned in our group chat the movie Into the Wild,
Yeah,
where he's like,
Yeah.
just on his own out
Yeah.
there, and he gets lost, and he goes to that bus, and he gets stranded on that bus and shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
man.
that's a sad ending too.
Wild, yeah,
Yeah.
true story.
Yeah, that's a true story. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was picturing Michael Scott over here.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's got his shirt around his head is crazy.
yeah,
Cut his jeans and everything.
Yeah.
Or he was wearing
Oh
shorts.
God.
yeah.
I was wearing shorts.
Yeah, and they find the search and rescue. They're like, "You only been out here 30 minutes. Why do you?"
Feels like it's been 3 hours, guys. Cut me a break.
Yeah, it's good though, because I mean, you face your own mortality, and then it helps you put things in perspective and shift, and hopefully, that helps your mental health as well. Because when you look at your own mortality and you face death, especially, I'm a big advocate of hallucinogens. When you take hallucinogens and you kind of have like that ego death, or you see how insignificant your life is, or how insignificant anxiety, depression, whatever you have it, in my experiences, life becomes easier, because it's like that is all minute things. I mean, unless obviously you do have a huge issue with mental health, like depression or anxiety, or things where you do have to take medication, see a psychiatrist and all that kind of stuff.
Hallucinogens help with that.
Yeah, they do. They're doing a lot of
Small,
research,
doses,
microdosing in with mushrooms and stuff like that. I microdose mushrooms, especially when I'm stressed out. Really helps me sleep,
does.
all that kind of stuff, relax.
Even spiritually, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people would take peyote, or
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
medicine. It really is medicine,
It also gives you perspective and a better understanding. I've had multiple experiences with hallucinogenics, to where, to me, it's almost this thing where it's intentional. Like, I feel like we should all know what that experience is like, because it does open your mind to new things that you wouldn't normally think about.
Yeah.
And when they created these drugs like LSD, I think that was the intention, was to create, a better understanding, to create stronger soldiers who know how to process shit better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like all of your senses are enhanced. But because we're not used to it, we haven't adapted ourselves to that feeling. To us, it's like a trip. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
But once you do it enough, I fried for a whole summer. I was taking LSD, and I was young. So doing it that young, it gave me this perspective and this understanding, to where I was like, okay, I get it. I'm literally this pebble, you know what I mean? In this mass space, to where nothing even matters. You know what I mean? You just have to live day by day and appreciate what you've been given.
Yeah.
The time we've been given. Live for the moment, and, set a good example. I don't think, we are here to be evil. I think we're here for people to learn from what we've done through our mistakes and through our own personal experiences.
Yeah.
And LSD, mushrooms, all that shit helps you get that clarity, we all seek.
And if you have somebody to help guide you along in that journey too,
Yeah, for sure.
it can make it more expansive and deeper too.
Yep.
Because I'm also an advocate of like being safe with those hallucinogens. Set and setting when you take them and stuff. I mean, they're fun to take at concerts and stuff, but you still open yourself up to other people's energies and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
In that kind of space.
Absolutely.
You kind of chuckled when I said hallucinogens. Have you taken hallucinogens?
Let me tell you, I don't want to say, I guess I could say the age, but all I'll say is, in high school, I grew up with a lot of older friends, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not
That's
a lot
when,
like
that's when
them,
we
but-
start finding who we are, as young men.
And,
you know what I
and
mean?
when it comes to mental health, our brains are wired to create more problems than we actually have. And of course, we all have problems. We all go through what we go through, but it's good to focus on the good that we do have. And it's good to invest time into learning and knowing yourself, because then you can find cathartic ways to help,
Truth.
therapeutic ways, like everything we've been talking about. And, I've been quiet listening to you guys. I've wrote a lot about this, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to express the good and the bad. It's okay to let it out. Like me and Xander, we both journal. You know, I'm not as consistent with it as
So
I
you're
used to
saying
be.
you're a poet, right?
Yeah,
Goth poet.
Yeah, goth poet. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
dig that shit. The first shit I started writing was more on a darker
Mm-hmm.
side of me at 16 years old. You know what I mean? Writing these dark passages where I was like, man, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And when you've always felt psychologically different than your normal guy, you know, like my poet name is Twin Abyss. I was a twin,
Yeah.
but we lost him at 18 months old, you know. And I'm not gonna get too much into it, but when you go through dark shit at a young age, it changes you. It changes the way you think, your mentality, your demeanor. It changes everything, you know. And you're not as judgmental either, you know. And you know, and I love conversations like this, and I feel like society, young men, you know, like me and you, like it's okay we're so young. It's okay for us to feel lost. It's okay for us not to know exactly what we're doing with our life right now, but we're not doing how do I say it? We're doing something, you know.
Could
We
be a
could
lot
just be
worse.
doing
Yo.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Be fucking
And
slumming somewhere.
And I'll tell you, nobody figures it out at any age, because when you know, you're different when you're 40, you're different when you're 30, you're different when you're 50, and time changes. I mean, I'm fucking 43 and I'm just getting my PhD compared to somebody who got it when they were 25. You know, I'm like behind the game. I'm like, fuck no, I'm glad I got it now because I appreciate it even more now. I mean, not saying that somebody at 25, you know, doesn't appreciate their education, but
Given your experience growing up,
yeah, you know, it's
we take things like that for granted sometimes.
Yeah, it's your journey, you know, and I can't be sad or mad about it. It just is what it is.
It's all about now, what you can do. Like you said, do better.
Do better.
Each
Yeah,
day,
do better.
You know, day by day, and
Day by day, and yeah,
a lot
and
of self-reflecting, and
surround yourself with those individuals that want to have conversations and deep discussions about, you know, mental health and vulnerability, and like even dissecting like what your poems are and where they come from and all that kind of stuff. It's extremely cathartic, and it's amazing, you know, and your poems may reach somebody who's like, damn, somebody gets what I'm feeling. Somebody understands it, just like you know, Xander was saying earlier, there's got to be somebody out there. And then when you create content or you create anything, you know, in any kind of art form, and then you put it out there, and people can relate to it, and they know that they're not alone, because, you know, like with technology or whatever, you know, we've become more and more alone. And that's, you know, part of the issue, you know, the whole world, I think, the Western world right now is facing, is how divided we are and how disconnected, and, you know, everybody's kind of walking on eggshells, and, you know, everybody's got an opinion about something. And
everybody has an idea what they believe is right and wrong. You know
what's
what I
right,
mean?
what's wrong, and just like,
black and white.
yeah.
And it's what they were taught. It's what they grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not, because America is a melting pot. You know what I mean? And you know, yeah. So, I mean, I could go on a whole other thing. So, but I didn't want to cut you off.
No,
yeah,
you're fine.
yeah.
You know, most young adults in their 20s, and I could say this honestly for any age, honestly, a lot of young adults, and like I said, really anybody, they are molded into a person of what their family and what society wants them to be. And they hold on to that. And, you know, I promised myself like 3 years ago, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be who I want to be. You know, I'm heavily influenced by music. I'm heavily influenced by 80s rock and roll, the culture, not even the fashion, even though that's how I like to dress, the culture, the energy, and not even just that decade.
It was a great
just,
era,
you know,
man.
Yeah.
The
like
80s.
When you were bringing up, you know, Hard Rock Cafe, and like when he was asking like what you meant by that, like exposing your kids, like it's the culture, you know?
Yeah.
And it gets deep, and it's just you feel it in your stomach, you feel it in your heart. It's
Yeah,
the best way I could explain it.
And yeah,
it's okay to be different. It's okay not to be the same as somebody else.
absolutely.
You know,
I
it's
like-
even better.
Yeah. And to touch on that, you know, it's Pride Month. You know, letting people just live and have equality. They just want to be themselves, no matter what that is. You know, and you know, that's a whole nother discussion. But you know, just you know, like teaching my kids, or my kid. I don't have kids. I have one. But I'm like, I expose her to like all kinds of different things, and I'm like, you choose what you like. That's your life. That's what you want to do. And, you know, if you want to know something about any kind of topic or anything like that, I was like, let's research it, let's look into it, or I know about it and things like that, you know. So and just letting your kids find what they
And
like.
when it comes to Pride, I
yeah.
mean, Pride Month, hell yeah, shout out. But to me, it makes me proud because I grew up with a family where there's so many, you know, people in my family who are gay or lesbian, and to me, it was nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
So to be able to celebrate that, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter regardless of what you know, feel inside, like be that, you know what I mean? Like there should be no reason why anybody should look at it in any other negative aspect at all. It's like, I am so proud to see that culture thriving, man, because I had a cousin who passed away from AIDS. He was gay, and he was a huge inspiration to me when I was young. And I didn't look at him like he was just this gay dude, you know what I mean? He was my cousin, and I loved him. So when he died, you know, it made me realize in the 90s when AIDS was this epidemic, like, man, you know what I mean? That's crazy how people look at this now like it's their fault. It's like bullshit. And so people look at it like it's wrong, and it's like, what the fuck's wrong with people? Why would you even think that? I can't comprehend that. So, it's like, you said, we go on and on, but hell much
What
love.
you brought up earlier in that discussion is it doesn't matter what age you are, nobody really has it figured out. I saw this clip, and it's been something I've kind of watched over and over since it came out. I haven't watched the full podcast, but it's Seth Rogen, and he kind of talks about something similar about it, but it's like his perspective on an individual person's success. And I like the one that I shared to my story because it has sound effect in the back and it makes it more emotional. Let's see if like we can oh, maybe not. It's kind of
Muted.
You won't. and
me,
honestly, I think after all the years I've seen people make it and not make it.
I want people to see this as well. So I'm going to just pull it up on this screen, go back. And
If you don't quit, you might make it. And if you quit, you definitely won't. And honestly, I think after all the years I've seen people make it and not make it, the only common denominator is that. Like, I've seen actors write themselves off, be like, I'm never gonna fucking do this. I've seen people get lucky at random times through random ways. I always think about like Ian McKellen. Like, had you heard of him before he was 65 years old? Like, that guy, I had never fucking heard the words Ian McKellen until he was Magneto in X-Men. Then all of a sudden, he's like in Lord of the Rings. He's one of the most famous people on Earth. He got famous when he's like 60. Like, that's what happens to people sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like you never know, you know? And so I think that is what's interesting. And if you like...
Yeah, and you'll never know if you quit, because that's true failure, is quitting. And you don't just continue to push and push and push
Every
and
day.
and you know, giving yourself grace too, and knowing when some days you don't need to push and you just need to chill, take a day off, have a self-care day. Even as men, having a self-care day and just being like, hey, I want to go to the spa, I want to get a massage, I want to take myself out to lunch.
Something we talked about last.
You know, I want to go in the park and blaze it up and just chill and just be by myself and listen to music, you know, whatever you want to do, or play video games. You know, like women.
Great stress reliever.
Yeah, you know, women or girlfriends are like, oh, he's always playing on his video games. It's like, well, does he have a stressful ass job? Because that might be his way to release. His therapeutic, like, I'm just going to go shoot some fools and I'll feel better, you know?
You do. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so therapeutic.
Yeah.
I think that clip resonates with me because I've heard that from quite a few people recently where they have expressed to me that it doesn't matter what age you become a millionaire or successful. What matters is that you got there. You can reach it at 23, 30, even 60. You'll get there. If you quit, you'll never know. If you don't quit, well, there's a chance that you will make it. And it just happens in the most miraculous ways that you can imagine. And I think it all builds up for where God wants you to be. He's putting you in certain situations to become the person that he knows you can be. There's another clip that resonated with me is God didn't put these thoughts into your mind because he didn't see the potential. He's putting those thoughts into your head because he sees something that you probably don't see, that you probably think is too big of a dream, that's too unrealistic. And a lot of people might call you delusional or crazy. And to an extent, I can agree with that.
We're all a little crazy.
But if you want to achieve a certain dream, you got to have some slight obsession towards it and be a little delusional about it. And it's something I'm learning along the way. And again, a lot of emotion has been just flooding my brain within the past month. And, you know, one of them was, what? I had it, and then bam. But it'll come back to me.
What was the emotion that you were feeling?
What was I touching on before I said that?
Your success at any age, whether you're a millionaire or, and it's been weighing on your head.
People, you're gonna have relationships that work out and don't work out, and it's all gonna make you into the person you're supposed to be. But people are either gonna think you're delusional or crazy, and they'll like you. I'm not saying they won't like you if they think you're delusional or crazy, but they're going to be reflecting within their own life like, wow, like this guy has a different perspective on what he wants to happen, what his goals are.
Yeah, and it's okay to be delusional in the sense that your dreams are so big that others don't understand it or can't see it, but you don't want them around your circle anyway. Like I was saying, the example with owning the pyramids. Like if that's your goal, go for it. And you want people who are like, fuck yeah, go own the pyramids. And then come to find out that when you reach out to Egypt, you can like buy one of the blocks and own a part of the Egyptian pyramid. And that money goes towards keeping them kept up and tourism and all that kind of stuff. And boom, you reach your goal. It's not the entire thing because I don't know if that's entirely possible. Like with, you know, unless
buy
you're
every brick.
yeah, you know, but you can buy every brick or, you know, yeah, if you're Elon Musk or, you know, Bezos or something and do that. But, you know, that's where you want to surround yourself with those people that want to support that dream no matter what it is and see you push towards it. Because I kind of live by, you know, the I wouldn't say it's not a law or a rule, but it's kind of like if you're not pushing me up, you're pulling me down kind of thing. You know, there is kind of a gray area like where it's just like, oh yeah, you're just kind of an acquaintance, you know, and so on and so forth. But, you know, if you get within my circle,
consistently interact.
Yeah, consistently interact, and you know, you're like, oh yeah, you know, negative this and negative that, and and I'm like,
brings you down.
I can't deal with that. I can't have that in my energy right now because where I'm going is far, you know, and I need those people that want to, you know, jump in the rocket ship and want to go with me. And that's where, you know, you'll get to experience that with people who do come in and out of your lives, you know, and stuff like that. And what's even worse is sometimes your family are the naysayers, which sucks because you love them and you have to keep them in your family or keep them in your circle. You know, but your friends, you know, friends come and go because in some people's story, you know, I'm the saint, and in some people's story, I'm the devil. I'm the worst piece of shit in the world, but I'm a million different people to a million different people. I'm a million different of myself or person, or however I say that. But
Do you
people are
think-
going to look at you differently. Everybody's going to look at you.
Do you think that philosophy goes along with like a romantic relationship as well?
It depends. It depends on what that philosophy is, what you understand philosophy to be, what it's defined as in your relationship. That's why there's christianmingle.com, because their philosophy is that idea. But then you also have, I think there's an equivalent of like Luciferians.com, where Luciferians get together and they're like, we understand
It's
the
a
same
crazy
philosophy.
world.
Yeah, and so that's
Crazy
where,
world.
you just got to define, where that philosophy
Romance.
lies.
I mean,
Yeah.
some of us may, have a little romance in us. Some of us may not know what it is or how to be romantic, but if it's something you want, something you want to commit to, invest in that, just like anything. So trying to find a relationship, trying to find love is almost, this impossible thing to do, because what do we know what love is if we haven't experienced it? True love, how can we know for sure? And it isn't until you actually lived with somebody and got to know somebody over time to where you start to discover what you really value in a person and a companion and a lover, because that's also a commitment. It isn't just about this bond, but also being intimate, being romantic, all these things that women might say they want or they may not care about. It doesn't matter. You still show them that if you truly value them, if you truly want them in your lives, you have to let it be known. You can't be shy about it. It's not a matter of being confident. It's a matter of being sincere and genuine. You being your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what women would appreciate when you find that person, because you might not necessarily be, you might not find that person, but that person might find you in their own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So
you
just got to be out there.
Yeah, all the things that make up a relationship, communication, trust, vulnerability, all those things, as well as learning to grow with the other person, because everybody's at different levels of life. So, and understanding, because people don't know what they don't know if they've never heard it before or they've never been led to it yet. So being able to grow with that individual wherever they're at, and accepting them unconditionally, without condition, wherever they are, like
That's true love,
yeah,
unconditional love.
That's why the movie Pretty Woman is such a great love story, because he met her where she was, and then he's like, I love you for who you are. I don't care what your profession is, and so yeah, it's
Being
just,
in a relationship, for years, people change, not like change like in a, and what I mean by that is not a bad way, but over the
We
years
grow,
I'm gonna
we
change into a
evolve.
different person. Exactly, we evolve. Relationships, spouse or not, even friends. It takes work. It takes everyday work to how do I explain it? To develop that relationship, keep it from fading, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's being consistent. That's why it's called a commitment. You know what I mean? In a relationship, it's just you got to commit to it.
Something recently learning is having a connection with a potential companion, and in today's society it's a little difficult with everybody having different experiences, and you don't know who to trust and who not to trust. But speaking on this specific experience I'm going through,
Is it
it's
a little secret admirer? Or?
not a secret admirer, but
did you meet her on the trail?
No, that would have been awesome. Actually, I met her. We went to school together, and we were really close while we went to school. We went our separate ways. And then I reached out to her a few years later after we graduated. We had a connection, and then it kind of went its own way. We went our separate ways after a few weeks, and then divine destiny happens, or divine intervention, however you want to put it, recently struck again with the same person. And I was like, okay, let me seek this opportunity to explore this experience and see where it goes. And I appreciate that connection you can build with someone and just really getting to know someone. And it's cliche, but love them for who they are and not what you just see, and just build upon that and kind of get deep with each other and be vulnerable with each other. And I think it's a really special thing to have within someone's life, because I think that's one pillar that makes someone not only successful but, you know, human, is being able to have that type of relationship with a significant other. And you know, sometimes the universe might tell you, hey, this is something I want to put in your way so that way you can experience it and you can learn, like, hey, you're capable of having a loving relationship, but maybe it's not the right time. And I'm going to give you a little taste, but I'm going to take it away just like that. Just to let you know, this is possible, but, you know, this isn't the right moment. Or it could be like, you know, this is it. You got to kind of be patient with it. It's a learning curve. So that's something I'm learning right now is, you know, it's a learning curve for me, and I got to learn to sometimes be patient and set my emotions aside and kind of really see how it plays out, you know, because I might like this person. It might not be the right time. Maybe something happened where, you know, feelings change. I don't know.
And that's the thing too, is, you know, the funny thing about cliches is they hold a lot of fucking weight to them. That's why they're cliches. You know, it's either a lesson or a blessing, right? So either way, that's how you can see it. Like, you guys fall madly in love and you think she's going to be forever, and then she leaves. And you're like, what the fuck? What was I supposed to learn from that?
Yes.
And that's, you know, without great risk, you know, there's no great reward. You know,
with great power comes great responsibility.
And the how do I say it? You know, when you are single and you're trying to find somebody, you know, how do I explain it? You could find someone who is just like you. What's the word I'm trying to look for? The
simpatico.
Compatibility. How do I say it?
Compatible.
Yeah, compatibility. It could be there, but is the intimacy there? You know, because that's important. You know,
all things are checking the boxes, but it makes me understand and reflect again. Like, if it doesn't work out, how am I gonna feel? How am I gonna react to it? It makes me feel like, man, if it doesn't work out, this is going to be the same in all other romantic endeavors, and it's going to make me like, all right, well, maybe I should just focus on me. And
and that's the hard thing too, is not carrying that over into other relationships and being able to have that foresight, like you were talking about earlier. Hey, did you guys get the bacon? What kind of bacon? They won't show us the bacon.
Nah.
The thick. Xander's gonna like it.
Oh, is that?
She said it's thick bacon, thick applewood.
Applewood. I do like me some thick applewood.
Are you guys doing some testers or what? Test run? Cool.
And you got some barbecue sauce and some baked beans.
Yeah, crazy.
But back to that is it's gonna hurt no matter what, because it's that rejection. But you're on the right track of separating your emotion from what you objectively should be thinking about in that situation. So basically, like, when we get mad, we're an emotion mind, and our brains are hijacked. Our amygdala is hijacked. It can be kind of the same thing when we get infatuated with somebody, I think. Don't quote me on that. So if you're an emotion mind and you're like, oh my God, I'm falling in love, and you haven't even gone on your first date, that you want to tame that and be like, okay, let me think objectively. We haven't gone on the first date. I've never met her parents. Like, let me slow my roll. Oh, I've been single for a while, and it's difficult not to jump into the deep end right away, because I'm a hopeless romantic. And also, I mean, you can ask my wife when I told her I loved her. It's a funny story. But, being able to just take every relationship that you experience as that experience, because every single person is different. So be careful with applying it to every woman's like this, every man's like this, every person's like this, because then it can harm you in making those steps into reaching out to potential partners, so
Yeah, that's a deep thought, and that's a great way to put it. I'm young. Again, I wouldn't say I'm naive, but I'm also a hopeless romantic. I love...
What would you say is like a romantic date? Like paint a picture, what's the setting? Where you at? Where you taking them?
I'm not gonna lie, I like to keep it simple and small. You can go on a date to a fancy restaurant. Sure, the outcome and experience might be different, but personally, I think sitting on a swing and looking at the sky or the view, or sitting on a bench and looking at the view and just getting into a deep conversation or shooting the shit with each other and laughing is a great date. And I say that from experience because, it makes you feel some type of way. So I don't think you got to go on a fancy 5-star restaurant date.
No, I like that. Like when you already got to know somebody, you know what I mean? Like you've known them for a while.
Yeah.
You just want to do something simple.
Save the first dates for
But like if you want to be romantic though, like that's cool. That's a cool intimate thing. But if you want to be romantic, what would you say is like romantic?
Romantic.
Like what do you envision when you think of romance? Like what comes to mind?
I think of that cliche. You're going out to a nice fancy restaurant. There's a candle lit right at the table. You're grabbing a steak. You're drinking some wine. She's in a dress. You're all dressed up. There's like a violin playing in the background,
like
maybe some
violin.
piano music. And it just sets the tone for a nice soft conversation or experience. And, you're just looking at each other in the eyes and you're just kind of like, thinking what this is, what the future could look like. Or if it comes down to it, or, even another idea is cooking dinner yourself. And
that's what I think of.
Laying, rose petals out on the table or on the floor, candles lit, lights are dim. You got some old school oldies music playing.
Man, that's it. That's it right there.
That's like the two types.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And and
this guy knows. Look at this guy.
Well, I would
Look
challenge
those logs.
I would challenge you even further. Ask her what her perfect romantic date is.
Ooh.
Because if she's like sitting on a bench and then you whip out a picnic basket and you throw on a candle, she's like done. Like amazing. Because you also have to think of like, what if she's been taken to a fancy dinner restaurant a million times?
Yeah, that's what you said that first because that's like the prototypical thing you think of. You want to show her you're romantic. That's what we envision from movies or even cartoons.
Yeah,
you see the candle and all that. So the violin, I like the violin.
Yeah,
right. But then you said being at home, making her a dinner. Flowers. Rose petals.
Yeah,
that just shows that you're trying to not only make her feel comfortable, but also at the same time you're willing to show you can impress her, to where it's not necessary, but you're going that extra mile. You're willing to take it there. I think they would appreciate something like that.
Yeah, and you hit a key thing on the head when you first get to know somebody and you're starting to date them. Conversation, because if she is your forever and you get old and decrepit, what's the only thing you're gonna have?
He said decrepit.
Yeah, you're both wearing Depends and you're like, oh, we got to change our fucking Depends today.
Oh no!
All you have is conversation, and if you have conversation and you can keep it lively and you can talk about topics and you can just conversate. And then when you're old and decrepit and you go out to the park and you sit in the park, you're like, remember when we first met? We went to the park, and she's like, oh yeah, you were such a hopeless romantic and you were so nervous and you were so cute. And then you asked me, what I think's romantic. And then you made it happen because you were thoughtful. And then you kept doing that every year, every anniversary, every whatever, when you had the chance, and so on and so forth, because that's your life partner, you know what I mean?
I could see you being that romantic guy at home, cooking up, and even if it isn't the best meal, like you see, like sometimes guys will be making this fancy dinner and like they're burning the chicken in the stove, and pots are boiling over and shit, you're making a fool out of yourself, but it creates this memorable event to where you could laugh about it and be like, he made this attempt, and fuck, we ended up ordering Chinese food afterwards.
Yeah.
And we had a couple beers and listened to some fucking Barry White or some shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out Barry.
Shout out Barry. I like those.
What kind of
those
music
ideas.
are you playing? What are you throwing on?
Do the twist and it. Because when I think of that,
Chubby Checker.
When I think of
Chubby
that,
Checker or what?
I think of like Spider-Man 3, where
Oh shit.
Harry Osborn is with Mary Jane in his house, and same situation. He's cooking dinner. They're having fun. That song's playing. They're
Which one?
dancing.
Which one?
Spider-Man 3.
What song?
Do the twist. I think it is. I don't know the name, but
He wants to recreate that.
yeah, but it's like he's burning the
Let's
food.
do the twist.
Yeah, let's do
That's Chubby
the
Checker,
twist.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're just like dancing, having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something she can support for you. Because if you want to create that and you're like, that's what'll make me
Because who doesn't
feel
love
romantic.
Chubby Checker though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
And
fucks with Chubby Checker?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be playing some hoes in this.
Oh no! Oh man!
I'm not trying to put anything insinuating, but
That's crazy. That's a crazy pull.
That's funny.
He's all being romantic right there.
oh my
Some hoes in this house, he said.
Yeah. I mean, I just picture like some oldies music.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix. Just playing that.
yeah.
And you guys are just vibing.
That's amazing.
I know for sure I'm going to fuck up that dinner. I know for sure, because I'm not a cook. I'll look up
You're
the
not a cook?
recipe.
No?
No, I'll look it up and I'll attempt
What's
it.
like your specialty? Like what would you ace?
Nothing. I tried to make chicken parm one time with some Alfredo, and just use that. Yeah, I tried cream cheese with. I don't know what I did,
Cream
but
cheese.
I didn't have any of the stuff to make it. As far as like,
Does chicken parm have cream cheese in it?
no, but the Alfredo, you can put like cream
Oh, yeah,
cheese and
yeah,
then make a
okay.
sauce with it.
Yeah.
So I had a pan and I was just beating this chicken instead of like a mallet. So I didn't have anything right to make it, all right. But I attempted. It wasn't bad, but I know for sure I would fuck that up, maybe burn it, and then just look at her and be like, all right, you want to order Chinese?
Yeah. Or you could pull the Miss Doubtfire.
Right?
And just
Order it ahead of
it
time.
and then plate it
Set-
yourself. And
yeah.
she's like,
She walks in and you're serving it. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I
she's
mean?
like, damn, this is fucking. Wait, this tastes like Maggiano's or something. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
These
Like,
breadsticks.
I
Definitely Maggiano's.
I know the owner. I know the sous chef. He gave me the recipe.
Yeah. Something
That's
like
hilarious.
Yeah, I can definitely picture myself doing something like that.
I say cook up some steaks.
Hey,
Yeah.
I can't
Can't
fuck
go
up
wrong
a
with a
steak.
steak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is one thing I can cook and not fuck up.
that. Yeah.
But
Unless-
then not all women,
Yeah,
are
unless-
beef eaters.
Unless she's vegan like my fucking
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
So I
my
couldn't
God.
cook a steak.
Sometimes you gotta know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Approach it.
And I don't like veggies or anything, so I couldn't be vegan or vegetarian. So it's like, where's the balance?
You don't like any veggies? No,
No,
nothing,
not
no
really. I mean,
corn.
I
no,
like corn.
Like potatoes.
Potatoes, like broccoli, carrots.
See, something like that could be simple. simple. You don't do
Yeah.
salad or nothing like
No.
that. No. Mushrooms maybe.
Nah, I mean, I'll try it.
There's some
But-
simple recipes out there. You know what I mean? I have a friend who's vegan, and I was a culinary student, but I didn't have a lot of vegan recipes. So I just looked some up. I looked some up. I felt bad because whenever I'd be cooking shit for all of our workers, I always felt like she was left out because she couldn't eat all these things because she's gluten free and she's vegan. So I learned a recipe to cook gluten-free vegan pancakes, and they were probably the best pancakes anybody ever had. They were amazing. So if you need that recipe,
Yeah, I'm gonna need that from you.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because I mean, my wife's vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian. Sometimes just depends. But yeah, so I mean, it's just asking them, what they want and all that kind of stuff. And that's where romance can go a long way. Because even just asking could be romantic because it's being thoughtful. It's like, what do you like? What do you want? Because she may hate the Spider-Man movies, and you're like, fuck.
But also at the same
right.
time, sometimes, women might have a preference as to where, they want you to guide them, or, if a man might ask her, like, well, what do you want? Sometimes they may not like that either. They want somebody who's going to take control, who's going to take the lead. Traditionally, like if you took a woman out to dinner, you look at the menu, you ask them what they want. When the server comes, you order for them first. It's just like this gentleman thing to do. Like it's not a flex. It's not a power move. It's just a gentleman thing to do to let the woman know she's taken care of. And, you want to treat this woman like she's royalty almost, like she's the queen, like she don't even need to speak to you. I'm going to tell you what she wants type shit. You know what I mean? So sometimes something like that could be, it might work in your advantage. You might appreciate something like that. Something I was taught, by my grandfather, something I've applied in a lot of relationships to where, I do that to where sometimes a woman might not have experienced something like that. A man taking the lead and, handling it for them.
Yeah, food for thought. I like that. I have two things I would like to get into before we end it out. Quick things. One of them is Diego. How comfortable do you feel sharing one of your poems with us?
I've been wanting to. This
All
whole
right.
time.
Can I play a
Got it,
song
got it.
for the background?
Especially a poem written about not letting your thoughts control you and believing in yourself and
Yeah.
believing in your dream,
Do you want Diego to play the song or pick the song?
What song are you thinking, Diego? I'm thinking No Surprises by Radiohead, but all instrumental.
Do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know you've used that one before.
Oh, dude, I love
like
it.
that one.
I love the
like that
vibe
one,
it
yeah.
gives. It's so...
It's like a good pace, good tempo.
Yeah. Hold
I'm
on.
gonna do two poems.
All right, let me... Whenever you're ready, brother.
All right. Sadness and agony is in the air. I wonder why I'm here right now. To suffer is to hate yourself. There's so much beauty in you. Why is it so hard to let out? Until we meet again, can you feel my despair in the lonesome midnight air? This is the first poem I've ever written, 2022.
Nice.
And let me show you. Let me find it.
Yeah, this is a drinking song.
Oh, no, I would be too deep in my feelings.
This will cause you to go deep in thought.
Yeah.
It's almost hypnotic.
This song was a combination of psychedelics. I would be deep in thought. And I do think psychedelics provide value to the human mind. But it'll take you for a roller coaster of emotions, because I think the point of it is not to do it and have a good time, or whatever the typical point of view is. I think it's something to reflect on uncomfortable thoughts you've been having, and to really come to terms with them.
Yeah.
And not really think of a solution, but just sit there with your emotions and really feel them, and
Yeah.
really think about, you know, what you want in life. Really think about the thoughts that are in the back of your head, and the thoughts that you've been trying to suppress, because they're so overwhelming. So I think, you know, that's a pro for psychedelics, and I'm speaking more so mushrooms, because you can really just think and embrace those uncomfortable thoughts, and be okay or not be okay with it, and that's okay.
You know, because that's the thing too, is you said, you know, it depends on the psychedelic, you know, because like if you do DMT or you do ketamine, it'll rip your face off, and you have to be kind of ready for it. You know, it's not traumatic by any means, but you have to be careful if you do have a propensity to mental health issues like psychosis. You have to be careful with that, because it can trigger it. Side note, if anybody is feeling like they need to talk to somebody, talk to a local agency or a friend or somebody. If you feel like you're going to harm yourself or others, there's always somebody out there that will listen, no matter who it is. But I always lean towards caution in family and friends, if they haven't already heard it, but then also, you know, just take that step and reach out to local agencies. There's always free services of some kind. Sometimes they're hard to access because they're hard to find, but
and I try to be there for my friends now, and I want to make that known.
Don't
that
hesitate.
I'll give you my number, and I'll just sit on the phone and listen, and I won't try to understand exactly how you're feeling, but I'll give you a little insight of how I feel and how that's relatable, but also speak on the benefit of, you know, shaping your mindset and how that can really be a positive within someone's life.
Yeah. Go for it, Diego.
All right.
This poem is called Will in the Sky. I could lie and say this poetry has kept me alive, but that would only be deceiving, because this water has, this food has, this bed and roof has, this will in the sky has. I can't imagine someone else's frozen hell who has it much worse, so why do I dwell? Days pass by without writing my damage down, then they crash, waves of poetic expressive words battle in the dark forest of my mind. Expression and character are what I'll forever work on, until the dying day I die, when my vampire soul transmutes to light beneath our red burning sky. Euphoric dark madness and angels collide, while the wheel in the sky passes me by. Nocturnal bats dim over our sun, abandoning all thriving life. Skeletons and bats come alive at night. Wheel in the sky.
Hell yeah.
That's great. Do
That's
you
badass.
Thank you.
have like a dictionary or a thesaurus around you when you write poems? What helps you get these thoughts onto paper? What is like how do you do it?
When it comes to writing down written art and expressing yourself, you know, it's in them moments when you're either born, you know, it's a skill, but you're either born with the gift or you're not. And a lot of my expressions and the way I write and the words and the emotions that I decipher through to write onto a canvas into written words, honestly, they just come to me in the right moment. I search for them and they come to me, and that's the best way I could explain it. And I do, I'm on my phone a lot searching words, synonyms, stuff like that, rhymes. And I'm always, I'll make a poem and then I'll edit and revise it and I'll add on to it. And when you do a lot of songwriting, poetry, any type of writing, for a while, you develop your skill, you find your style, and you find what works, and you find what you're really good at. And it's always good with trying new things, different structures, different ways of doing stuff, you know.
Yeah, I like that, dude.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Before we get out, the last thing is I want to end this on a different spin. Let's give the person watching one valuable piece of advice they can ponder on, think about. It can be anything we talked about, anything you think would be valuable to express to the person watching. We'll start with you, Joel. I'm going to let the song ride out.
I do like this song.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole episode we kind of been talking about how, you know, through life we go through these ups and downs, and we express ourselves in many ways. You know, it could be going for a hike and getting lost. It could be writing poetry. It could be making dinner for your wife. You know, there's so many ways we express emotions to where, you know, we have to find not this comfort. You don't want to be too comfortable, but at the same time, you know, you want to just be able to be free, you know, to feel free of worry, to feel free of stress and the world just weighing down on your shoulders. So for people watching, if you don't have anybody to talk to, you know, there's always, like, you know, like he said, there's always, you know, different people you can reach out through all these different charitable causes or whatever it may be. But it could just be a stranger on the street or at a coffee shop or wherever you may be. You know, just say hello, create a conversation. You never know where it might take you, and just be grateful for what we've been given, because this life could be much crueler. This is a cold world we live in. So hug your loved ones, and always feel free to reach out to anybody who, you know, might give you an ear to listen. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Tell him.
I would say don't pee into the wind. No, I'm just kidding. But that is a good one.
sometimes it happens.
Yeah, sometimes
the wind shifts.
Yeah, I always think of the Big Lebowski. But you know, not putting it lightly about mental health and mental health issues. You know, because it's always easier said than done, and I know, you know, depression can be extremely crippling. You know, but just know that you're not alone. You're never alone. You know, 8 billion people in the world, like you said. There's got to be somebody that's feeling or has experienced this exact same thing. And that's where our minds are unique, because we think we're unique, but we're not, which is weird. We have unique experiences, but humans basically are generally almost all the same in our existence in that kind of way. Obviously, environment shapes that. You know, so I would just say, yeah, you know, hug your neighbors, more love, especially this month. You know, reach out and have those conversations across the aisle, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and just get to know people, you know, because we need more love in this country.
Oh, for sure.
We just need more, you know what I mean? And it just seems extremely difficult right now. So, yeah. Go for it.
All right. What I have to say is find one thing, even if it's just one thing at least, that you feel confident that you could revolve your whole life around and become obsessed with it. Something that drives you, something that fuels you, something you feel in your gut and your stomach and your heart, something that keeps you going. And really dive into yourself, learn more about yourself, try new things. Don't be afraid. Don't do nothing, or how do I explain it? Do something, even if it's just one thing a day. Do something. Don't sit on the sidelines, because you have it in you. And you know, life is scary, life is overwhelming, and I've learned to embrace the darkness, embrace my pain, and wear it like armor. And don't be afraid to be you. And don't dwell in the bad thoughts that you receive. And I believe in you.
Man,
Hell yeah.
how do I compete with
Hell yeah.
with all of that?
One thing I love about you, Xander, is especially in your reels lately, is your dialogue. You know what I mean? Your honesty. You're not afraid to, you know, just say anything that comes to mind. Sometimes you have these thoughts and you just let it out and you express it, and that's you. And I love that about you.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think it's okay to not hear sometimes that someone's not proud of you or they're not happy for you. Because as long as you believe in what you're doing and you try to live life positively and you truly believe in the mission, I think you'll always have your back. And it's okay to know that other people don't have your back as long as you have your back, you know. And I think that goes into a lot of stuff that can spin into a whole tangent, but there's a lot of stuff I could say is that be happy with where you're at and listen to your own advice. But as always, don't be afraid to be yourself. Be yourself, be you, be authentic. If nobody likes that, that's okay.
Fuck them.
As long as you're being you,
The right people will find you.
Yep.
you will be way happier and live a more fulfilling life if you're just being yourself and trying to impress people. And lastly, it's okay to open up and be vulnerable with anybody. And I think the world needs more of that. And I think we gotta preach that more. And I think we just gotta be there for one another and just listen and let them know that's relatable in anything they're going through. So that's what I would say.
And don't feel like it's too late, because it's never too late.
Never too
Sometimes
late.
you just got to sit there with a rose and just,
Smell it
smell the roses.
for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I read one more poem?
Go for it.
All right.
Yeah, do it.
It's called I Miss the Winds Part 2. And in this poem, I miss the winds like it's metaphoric, it's symbolic. I miss the chaoticness. I miss the storm. Even though you don't really miss it, but when you don't have it, you miss it. Nothing to say when everything is gray. I want to create a place, a space for creatives to create and rest all day. Art is flowing in the air, flowing from where your heart aches, a sanctuary where it's okay to pour out your pain. I want to open up a place for painters, for writers, for hopeless romantics, and bleeding vampires. A place where my poetry molds into stone, bleeds through brick, a place in need of an artist's touch, like tattooed ink sketched upon my cold skin. A place to wonder when my mind is blank. I miss the winds when I'm writing down rain, when I have nothing to say, when I have nothing to give, besides this melancholic poetry I paint.
That's deep, bro.
Yeah.
Tell them where they can find you.
Yes. I have Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twin Abyss Poetry. And hit my line if you need a dark poem or any other type of poem. Just hit my line, Twin Abyss Poetry.
Boom.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you can find me on congenialityconsulting.com. Or no, wait, no. Sorry. I don't have a .com yet. Just Congeniality Consulting or Poor Bear Chalapa on LinkedIn. I do business consulting, all kinds of different things. If you want to get at me, same on Instagram. It's Congeniality Consulting LLC. I wanted to thank Xander and Joel and Diego for entertaining my chaotic thoughts. Sometimes if I made a single cent of anything, but just off the cuff. But it's good. It's good to be off the cuff, all in, and just be yourself, be genuine. What happens. Because I sometimes want to prepare too much. And before doing this, I'm like, well, what can I ask? What time is it? What kind of questions are you gonna ask? What are we gonna, this and that? And I'm like, no. He said it's just a talk. It's a chat, and that's genuine, and that's what I think more people need to hear and watch and see. Just guys sitting around and talking about their feelings, talking about their thoughts, and knowing that it's okay and it's not okay to be okay, and all that kind of good stuff. So
Definitely means a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a guest, and now I'm here all the time.
yeah, hell yeah.
this is my first time ever being on a podcast, and you should challenge yourself. You should always be challenging yourself, and I recently just joined a rock band, local Pueblo band, and
Okay.
I'm new to it. I've been doing vocals for some time, but I'm new to working with the group, and it's exciting,
Yeah.
and it's worth it. It's worth trying new things. And
What's the name of the
believing in
band?
yourself. I can't say.
Oh, it's that
Yeah.
new. Oh, it's new.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll see it on his handle though when it comes live. Yeah.
Some Alice in Chains, Black Sabbath type,
Okay.
type
Yeah.
sound. But
That'd
I
be
do want
exciting.
to experiment with a lot of other sounds, like anything from 80s to really any decade, every decade of rock, like 3 Days Grace, Stain,
I'll
Sealer,
definitely
that
look
type of
forward to
stuff.
hearing it
Yeah, I'm excited.
for sure.
Joel, let him know.
It is your boy Too Fly from the High Side. Check us out every Wednesday at the Super Reactions Podcast. Street Champs channel. We're at 82K. Run it up to 100K. We're making bets. We're making bets on when we get to 100K. You got a date locked in or what?
I'd have to be realistic about it. I'd have to be realistic.
100K is
about
right
it.
around the corner, man.
I know it's right around the corner.
Right around the
I
corner.
would say
June, July,
a month
August.
and a half.
It's
No,
close.
I'd probably say the end of July,
Mm.
even mid-July.
Okay.
Maximum is probably beginning of August, but I don't see that. I see it more towards
Who knows?
even at the end of this month potentially.
Potentially. And thank you to the All In Podcast, as
Oh.
always. My boy Xander holding it
course.
down. Much love to you. And make sure you subscribe to The Joel Show on YouTube and follow me on all platforms. Description in the
Description.
check the description. Look at all that stuff.
Right there in the description.
You know where it is.
You know where it is. Well, thank you for watching. This is Zan Dickey with the All In Show. You can find this episode on YouTube along with other episodes. You can find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the All In Show. If you want photography done, videography, come to me. We'll work something out. We'll have fun, get creative. But it's been a fun time diving into a
It's nice
more...
meeting you guys too,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Hell
Just don't go hiking with him.
Yeah, probably. I hope
Bring a
you're
compass.
a little more inclined outdoors than I am, because I just raw
So I don't
dog a hike, and
Yeah.
I would love to have all the gear, but I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $300 just
Survivor.
to feel ready. I'll just if God wants to navigate me in one direction, I'll let him navigate. He'll tell me where to go, and it's all gonna build character, and it's gonna build that masculinity within myself to feel comfortable in that kind of situation. So it really does work out in its own way. But
Yeah.
if you're wanting an adventure, yes, I'd recommend a hike, because we might get lost and we might get scared, but at the end of the day, look where we're sitting. Look, I came back home. I was lost, but then I was found.
Found.
So
You got that dancing.
Yeah.
and I was just having fun dancing. I kind of outed myself. I should have said that was at the end of it, but that was before. I was vibing before, and then I got lost, and I was like,
I mean, it would have
Ooh.
been a good last video of your life. Like, hey, at least he was
jeez.
having fun.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. But tune in, subscribe, like this video, show some engagement, show some love. It was fun getting emotional and just diving into how we really feel, how people really feel, and just being honest and real with ourselves. So I appreciate every single one of you guys coming on and
Much
just
love.
sharing the
Hell yeah.
vulnerability.
And no matter who you are, keep on rocking and rolling. That's
Fuck
my
yeah.
advice.
Rock
Keep
and
on
roll.
rocking and rolling.
roll.